Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman back again with a game. We've got Elf4ntGun playing full faction Forsaken Waste, and we've got WinningNumbers playing Iron Fist Underdepth Split. And Elf4ntGun going first with the Bone Circle Archmage here. And typically I don't actually like recording games with WinningNumbers, just because like he usually runs like this annoying stealth deck. Like where he runs Shadow and all these champions that can stealth. So it's annoying as a commentator because like half the board is stealthed and there's like nothing to comment on. But I think it's Elf4ntGun, right? So I gotta get an Elf4ntGun game when I can. He's currently one of the best players that we've got, and I know how much everyone loves top level gameplay. So we'll see what WinningNumbers can do here versus Elf4ntGun. He hasn't done anything yet. And hopefully he does something soon, because if he just AFKs, I will be very sad. It will be a very sad commentator, and I'll have to go cry in a corner, and it'll be messy, and there'll be snot running down my face, and no one wants to see that. So WinningNumbers, you better make a move soon, or I will be very upset. Bone Circle Archmage, let's talk about him. I don't like these upgrades. I know Elf4ntGun, like, okay, so after he was changed, basically, he has like Poison Cloud 3 instead of Augment Creation now, and like Mind Wipe Aura 2 and some other stuff. But I'm fine with, like, all of his builds are basically good. It's just okay. So WinningNumbers passed without doing anything. Okay, so I'm probably just gonna have to scrub this recording. But on the off chance that he does end up doing something, I'm gonna keep talking. So we've got Bone Circle Archmage. Oh no, wait, okay, so he deployed Kingmaker. Okay, so he didn't actually pass his turn yet. Okay, thank God, I don't have to... Okay, so Kingmaker over here, we'll talk about that in a bit. But Bone Circle Archmage, I like Poison Cloud 3. I know Oblivion Shield is his thing, it gives him, you know, the survivability early game and whatnot. Summon Skeleton 3 is a little bit weird. I never find that I have enough AP with him to, you know, summon a skeleton, and because Bone Prison is 5 AP already. Hex is 4, he only gains 6 a turn. And then, like with Poison Cloud 3 or Mind Wipe Aura, I like to play him a little bit more close range. Just sort of, you know, run him in and get some AoEs down. Well, he, instead of like keeping him sitting in the back, waiting for his summons to come back up, I feel like that's a little bit boring. But we've got a second one here, out here for Elf4ntGun. And this, okay, so this one has Mind Wipe Aura 2, and Summon Skeleton 3, which is a little bit better build in my opinion. But Kingmaker actually gets top font, and so the Kingmaker top is really weird, because now you've basically given up total control over the bot font just to give Corona Majestic. And so this is another thing WinningNumbers likes to do, is super champ either Corona or some kind of bots there. But that was sort of nerfed, so now it's like I've seen him do Corona, I've seen him do Zoalt. But yeah, that's sort of his thing, and good players like Elf4ntGun never really have a problem beating him. But there's always the off chance that he might have a bad day. But we've got Angel of Death at the bottom font for Elf4ntGun. And this just seems to be fairly, maybe not standard Forsaken Waste meta. I don't think I'd run 2 Bone Circle Archmages in Forsaken Waste meta, so maybe it's more of like a summon heavy strategy from Elf4ntGun here. But I do like Angel of Death. I like the fact that she's reasonably priced, and she sort of fills, in my opinion, a niche that Forsaken Waste doesn't really have. It's like this mid-range brawler type. Like she's pretty tanky with Absorb and the healing she can put out, and after she intensifies, she's got some good damage, you know. I think she'll do really well into this matchup, because Corona is sort of going to be blocked in by these summons here. Now, the problem, of course, is that Corona can thirst for battle off of them and start stacking up her stats there. And with Majestic, the summons don't actually do very much damage. So we'll see how Elf4ntGun plays this. But again, like, you basically, like, sending Kingmaker top to get this font early, I mean, I haven't seen WinningNumbers' draws, of course, but I feel like he only did that just so that he could get Corona with Majestic into mid-font. I mean, he's a turn late, so Elf4ntGun had the deploy priority there. But now it's Corona 2v1, and I think unless Corona gets like a Demon Shield or something, or a Righteous Deflection, she's going to be very, very vulnerable momentarily. Because Angel of Death, I mean, even through Demon Shield and RD, The problem is Angel of Death can just corruption and get a loss of life attack to completely avoid that. So Elf4ntGun in a good position to take the lead here. He's got a champion up on winning numbers. What the hell was that? A Dark Pact. Wow. Okay, so Elf4ntGun actually gets his essence drain Dark Pacted onto the summoned undead warrior, which is hilarious because I was just hyping Elf4ntGun up as a good player. I mean, you can't really sort of predict the Dark Pact. Like, nobody runs Dark Pact these days. But it's just sort of funny to watch that happen. And then, of course, the RD actually does come down, so Angel of Death gets her attack reflected. So Elf4ntGun says, you know what, fuck that, here's a Mind Shackle, and then Winning Numbers says, fuck you as well, and disarms it immediately. So we've got a disarm, and then followed by a Fading Recollection onto that Bone Circle Archmage. So man, if Elf4ntGun actually loses this, that would be something. I feel like Winning Numbers sort of is like his Kingmaker first strategy, and his Super Corona is sort of paying off already. But Elf4ntGun is definitely not the type to surrender early. Against a player of Winning Numbers' caliber, at least. So Bone Circle Archmage, completely blank ability page. He's like completely empty down there. He's got nothing going on after that FR, and I guess, I mean, he's still a body that can contest, right? But so Winning Numbers is going to have to deploy to defend that font should Archmage capture it. So there is the corruption from Angel of Death going through the RD. But that Dark Pact was definitely in Winning Numbers' favor, and so actually Corona goes back to stall the Archmage from getting into that font. So it makes an attack there, and see, this is sort of the problem with Fading Recollection. Why a lot of good players don't typically run it is that the champion that you cast it on, you're basically using it to get a kill. It's sort of like a removal spell in the sense that you use it to get rid of problematic abilities that you couldn't really deal with otherwise. But when you use it on a champion like Archmage, I mean, it looks tempting. Like, the play looks tempting to do because you're just completely erasing, you know, a champion's effectiveness. But it's 55 Nora, and the champion is still alive. It can body block, it can contest fonts, it can drop relics. It can do anything that a live champion can do except use abilities. So you're not completely erasing its presence by using Fading Recollection. You're just sort of, you're turning it into a summon, essentially. But up top, we've got the second Archmage leading the charge with his summon against this passive Kingmaker. And Kingmaker, I guess he can sort of block the Relic contest here, but again, like Winning Numbers needs, it deploys. He needs bodies on the board now. Because, oh, there's an Altered Lemur. Okay, so I must have missed the Shadow Spawn animation. I do that a lot. I'm sorry about that. But there was an Altered Lemur Shadow Spawn here. And I wonder how far back that went. It must have been like only a few turns ago. So Altered Lemur blocking the Archmage from contesting this turn. So Lemur, he has Aura. He's got Nova 3. That's probably a good build. And over here, also something I neglected to mention was the Deathcaster. Now, Deathcaster was recently, well, semi-recently changed to where he doesn't have Soul Sift anymore. I mean, basically, he was overpowered. Like, there's just no way else to say it. He was overpowered before. He had to get changed. He still boasts his signature Death Pact, but he's sort of like a Death Benefit champion now. If that makes sense. You can Death Pact and then Life Drinker off to heal up again, and Lightning Amped. But he did lose his 5 range, which is a little unfortunate. I liked having him ranged. I think his vulnerability was swapped, wasn't it? Didn't he used to have like vulnerability acid before? And they changed it to Vuln Fire because it was gave him more of a discount? I don't know. But he's still sort of squishy, but Death Pact will definitely help versus the super champed Corona. So we've got a Despoil going down here for Elf4ntGun, so no more spells to keep Corona alive. And actually, Elf4ntGun grants a Death Nova to that Archmage. Probably a good idea. Angel isn't going to die anytime soon, and the Archmage is sort of just hanging around useless, so you might as well get some value out of it with the Death Nova. Corona, though, healing up off the Blood Balls. I guess she could sort of step out of the font if... Okay, I was going to say if Winning Numbers had a Relic. So she could step out of the Dead Magic Zone so that Winning Numbers could put some more spells on her. But I feel like she should like block in this Archmage a little more. Just, if anything, just for the Thirst for Battle stack, right? Yeah, which she does. So that Archmage is completely blocked in, both by 2 champions. Okay, so Corona decides to heal off of it instead. Probably a wise move. I feel like leaving a half HP champion alone versus Elf4ntGun is not not a good idea. So the Angel going to intensify in 2 turns, and that's a lot of relics in there. I wonder if Elf4ntGun... Oh, there's no... Yeah. I was going to say maybe like a Haunt or something on the Fire Ruby, but there's already Dead Magic Zone down. So these relics are kind of blocking Winning Numbers more than Elf4ntGun at this point, because Winning Numbers has 2 melee champions versus Elf4ntGun's range. So down goes the Fire Ruby. That Corona still hanging around, and up top we have finally a deploy, Bach Warden from Winning Numbers here. But the Summon Grave Warriors come down. Kingmaker completely helpless, only managing to put a buffer on himself to defend against some damage. And I guess Archmage can sort of move up and do a ritual if he wants for some finishing damage, but at this stage it would be better just to keep the Kingmaker like locked in place so it can't retreat. So Bach Warden, you've got Enrage, you've got Detection. No, I don't see the Bach Warden much, but she is pretty nice. She's got Arrow Shot. She's sort of like the Bach Raider, except she doesn't have initiative. So she's sort of forced out of that the Arrow Shot role in that respect. Like you can, but she does have she can have Vengeful on. She has that on upgrades if you're running a little bit of death benefit synergy in Underdepths. Cheap champions with the Lemur and everything. So we've got Corruptor down here for Elf4ntGun, and the Lemur actually does contest that font, and he could have used Beset on the Angel, choosing instead to save it for the future, I suppose, unless, yeah, but see, the problem now is that Angel just cleanses it, so no tagged anymore, despite still being hunted from the Mortar Crew. And honestly, I don't think I'd run Declare Hunted on Mortar Crew anymore. I can see why it would be beneficial to a strategy like Winning Numbers is, because Corona doesn't have like any way to engage, like just on her own, so the tagged is helpful in that respect. But I think if you're just running Mortar Crew like as a standalone ranged unit, Precision or Explosive Attack is probably a better choice of upgrades there. And so we've got some summons going down up here after the Kingmaker dies to the summons. And then Bach Warden trying her darndest to keep the summons out of the font, but Archmage can contest with a relic if he wants. Elf4ntGun already has 2 relics down, so I don't know if he runs any others. Typically at the high level, you don't see an overabundance of relics. You really only see the banner, like in full faction, and then like 1 or maybe 2 more to contest fonts. And Bazaar is a good choice. I like running Mist of the Dead as a font contester, just because I find it lasts like a long time in a font. Like you can just have it sit there against a ranged unit forever. Or Grimwell is another good option there. But I think Elf4ntGun is something tells me he's not really a fan of those relics. So we've got Deathcaster and Angel versus the Lemur. And I don't know. I mean, the Lemur will last yeah, no, why do I want to say Deathcaster? He's not a priest. He's actually a wizard, a dark wizard. I'm actually kind of surprised he's not a lich. But anyway, Deathcaster could Death Pact that Lemur, but that is actually unnecessary because Angel can just exert and hit it, and then Deathcaster hits it twice for the kill. So some charges going over to him from that, and yeah, Elf4ntGun just gonna keep the deploys coming with Obsidian Avenger. So we'll see if Winning Numbers can get that Corona into action and get a kill soon. Like he needs to start like he basically put everything into that Corona, right? And Elf4ntGun just didn't seem to care even after that Essence Drain fail. We've got Magma Bunny up here for Winning Numbers. Magma Bunny's still a very good champion. Man, Winning Numbers took Replicate? Ew. I'm not a fan of that at all. I think Split is totally the superior choice. It makes him 5 Nora cheaper, and it may seem like you're giving your opponent control over when it multiplies, but I mean it's just the efficiency is so stellar on it if you take Split. I mean Replicate, like it just doesn't have the same function because you'd have to make use of the splits if you're running Replicate. You need like Fire. I mean, that's not even possible anymore because it has Lava Walker. So yeah, But like replicate just doesn't do enough as opposed to split, where you can just throw it into a font, have it split up, have the splits, disengage and, cycle them in, contesting and then recontesting later with the splits. Whereas replicate, you put a replicate down and you just have like a half HP Magma Bunny and, sort of hanging around. I don't like it. But the Magma Bunny is still fairly cheap, and it is blocking the font from these summons contesting with the relic. Maybe Elf4ntGun will pacify these guys with Mind Wipe Aura so that maybe the summon... no, the summon can't walk in and put a relic down. Over here it can, though, even without a Mind Wipe Aura, so Elf4ntGun could still contest, theoretically. But down here, it seems like Winning Numbers is backing off, not really seeing a kill on anything with Corona. Probably going to wait for his spells to come back up. But, I mean, Elf4ntGun just gonna again, keep the deploys coming, keep building up his forces, keep putting the pressure on Winning Numbers here, and even a Super Champed Corona. Like, honestly, if I were running a Super Champ deck, which I probably wouldn't, but if I were running one, I'd probably pick something other than Corona. Just because I feel like a good Super Champ deck, like you need a champion that can actually get into the fight and make use of their stats. Like, Corona is basically immobile. Like, she has the sustain, like she has healing, she has thirst, for stat stacking. I mean, she can be scary to face, but like if you can't actually fight with her, then she just falls apart. Like, what's she doing right now? Nothing. So something like, that's why stuff like Zolt is a good option, because he can fight from range, he's got 7 speed, which again, I've seen Winning Numbers play, but yeah, like he's more mobile. And then, the usual Super Champ like Vothsayers are good because they have range protection, so they don't care if they have to sit back like this. Because, like, imagine if Winning Numbers had a Vothsayer here instead of the Corona. I mean, fair, he'd have 2 Death Pact champions and Corruption Angel to fight against. But Forsaken Waste in general is very good at dealing with Super Champs, and honestly, like, every single champion that Elf4ntGun has can in some way damage the Corona, even through stuff like Demon Shield. Like Venger can even desecrate Earth if he wants. But it seems like Winning Numbers is definitely on the back foot. Gonna try and lay down some strikes to keep Elf4ntGun at bay. Of course, that won't work forever. Elf4ntGun will eventually find the means to engage. But there's a Dwarven Wind Fury up top, and Winning Numbers desperately trying to maintain some control over this top side of the map here. Dwarven Wind Fury, so I'm not really sure. Like, this is definitely a little bit different from Winning Numbers' usual style. I haven't seen a single stealth champion from him so far, aside from the Lemur, of course. But usually, I feel like he runs definitely heavier on the stealth. But like Deep Elf Assassins and Scouts and stuff. But so Magma Bunny gonna take some hits, and yeah, like, imagine if Magma Bunny had split here. Like, Winning Numbers would have 3 champions for the low price of like 58 Nora. So, and just from getting hit by summons. So he would sort of have the numbers to contest Elf4ntGun's advance here. But that Bach Warden is down to 11 HP. I mean, any spell could kill it, really, like a Soul Bane or something, but looks like Hungry Dead is actually going to go down here to keep Corona and crew in place. And that's basically game, honestly. Like, after the book burn, so no spells from Winning Numbers now. I mean, Corona can't, she can't relocate into the fight. Like, Dwarven Mortar crew can get off a hit, I guess, with Slam, but Angel has Absorb, so what are you really going to do there, right? So we've got the summons eyeing that Bach Warden menacingly after the Hex from the Archmage here. So Bach Warden's still well out of contest range of that top font, even with flying. And, the Artillery Strike actually... Okay, so the Artillery Strike did hit Corruptor for 15 damage, so not too bad. But I'd actually be very surprised if Winning Numbers managed to suss out a kill here onto something. He can get a slam hit on the Angel, but without the help of spells, that Corona is definitely going down. So Winning Numbers chooses to retreat as far as possible. Of course, retreat isn't really possible with the crew because it's a fatty. Drank too many beers before the battle and increased in size. So basically, he's blocked off by the Hungry Dead and by these bushes over here. So there's nowhere for the crew to run. And I'm wondering where, like, all of Winning Numbers as Nora is basically going to this top font to deal with the 3 summons, basically. The 4 summons, I should say, from the summon skeleton. But Winning Numbers is going to sweep these summons away, and they're still threatening the font. That's the funny part. Like, even, like, it's literally just 1 Archmage contesting versus 3 champions. I mean, that's kind of crazy if you ask me. Like, just the insane value that you can get from so much meat, have it being on the board at the moment. So Bach Warden going to come in here and try and keep the Archmage down. But on 6 HP, I would be very surprised if the Warden managed to live another turn. But I feel like Elf4ntGun doesn't even care about this top side. Like, he could lose that Archmage and still be completely fine in this game. We've got Pantier Headhunter. There you go, Winning Numbers. You've got your stealth engine rolling now. Pantier Headhunter with only Assassinate 1. Aw, come on, man. If you're gonna run a Headhunter, you got to go with Assassinate 2. There's just no other way to do it. You got to go all in or go home. So Corona, probably as safe as she can be at the moment. Deathcaster can't really go in there. I guess he's technically within Death Pact range, so maybe like Death Pact and then a Soulbane to finish off the Corona is possible. So there is the Ritual of Destruction taking down the Bach Warden, and now it's basically just Dwarven Wind Fury versus the Archmage one-on-one. And without Oblivion Shield, I definitely think Wind Fury wins that. But it's all a question of, can he kill the Archmage before Bone Prison comes up? So, are we going to see it? Are we going to see a mobilization maybe to get a corruption kill, or a Soul Harvester kill rather, onto that Corona? Corruptor is going to need more damage though. Corona does have 4 defense from the Thirst for Battle stacks. But if Moby does come out, which I'm thinking it is, like, I mean, the way Elf4ntGun is posturing here, there's no way he doesn't Moby, right? And yep, there it is. So even deploying Death Harvester first for 4 AP onto it. So there's the Moby, and Desecrate Earth going to come down here. Or I guess he can just kill the Mortar Crew too, that's fine. So there's the Desecrate Earth dealing damage to both these guys, and that will be a perfect Soul Harvest kill. So Angel takes down the Corona, and Mortar Crew will get harvested. Yummy Nora. So Corruptor's eaten good today, and Deathcaster grabs that globe. Currently, so this is the thing about Amped. Like, Amped, even with Death Charge 2, it takes a long time to get Amped. Like, that Deathcaster has been in play since, turn 12 or something? And it's only now, at the very end of the game, getting its Amp on. So, another Mind Shackle coming onto the Headhunter here. I guess the thing is, like, if you're running it, like, this isn't a full death benefit deck by Elf4ntGun, so you've got to keep that in mind as well. That, like, if you had, like, stuff like Broken Bones and, you know, Bone Slave were just dying left and right, then you could, yeah, Death Charged would put in work. But in just a normal deck, he's sort of just a Death Pact bot again, which is, you know, it was basically his role before. It's always been his role, is just to cast Death Pact. But I feel like for that price, like, you could run Serinda for that price, and you could have like a 5 range. Like, she can be run at around 80 Nora as well. You'd have Death Pact, you'd have not deep healing, dark healing for anti-healing there, and, you know, she's another Life Drinker champion, so she can heal. And she's a lot more, and she's a lot hotter than Deathcaster is. So, you know, there's that as well. So Elf4ntGun actually using a Tome of Hate to contest Winning Numbers as top font. Very BM choice here. So Tome of Hate, usually a relic that sits behind the shrine. But I mean, if you can use it to contest, you know, you might as well, and especially in a winning position like Elf4ntGun is in. So he does run more than the 2 relics that we've already seen. And what actually happened to those relics? There was the War Banner here, and oh yeah, they got Mortar Crew down. So Artillery Strike took them out. So the Pantier Headhunter is currently paralyzed by the Mind Shackle, and this sort of feels like Winning Numbers should probably surrender. He's running out the clock currently, unless I happen to be DC'd, which I hope I'm not. Okay, so I'm not DC'd. But yeah, Winning Numbers sort of just letting his game end with a whimper instead of a bang. And you know, I feel like if you're in Winning Numbers position, in this game, you'd probably be a little salty after, maybe not salty, but just like, I don't know, disappointed after that Dark Pact play. You're feeling like, man, I outplayed Elf4ntGun so hard, and then it's just like, nah, it didn't matter. He outplayed you in the end. But Corruptor going to take advantage of that completely missed turn. Going to get another, even a sacrificial dagger from Elf4ntGun. Interesting that he runs that. Like, I feel like Sack Dagger is really good. Like, if you're running a lot of Death Pact stuff, then Sack Dagger could definitely make an appearance. But the problem is, like, again, you've got Life Drinker, you've got Twisted Essence on the Angel. You could even run Life Drinker on Angel if you wanted, but Twisted Essence makes her cheaper, which is nice. And then, Zulos. So, but yeah, Sack Dagger is nice for that re-healing, keeping your champions very healthy and in play. So there's the full heal on the Corruptor after harvesting that Pantier Headhunter. And now Elf4ntGun just going to slowly and inevitably take over this game. Obsidian Avenger whacking the Shrine, Angel whacking the Shrine, and that's going to be 4 fonts to 0 for Elf4ntGun. So I think this is another case of if Winning Numbers passes another turn, then I'll probably just end the recording, since there is pretty much no way he'll come back from this. Unless maybe he's running. No, I'm not gonna give him hope like that. So basically, Winning Numbers has unofficially lost. I feel like a lot of the not the blame, but a lot of the impetus for this loss was placed on the top font here. I mean, it was basically just Archmage soloing this top font fight all on his own, just with these summons. And then, Elf4ntGun slowly making progress down here after Corona had to retreat. So, yeah, that's basically then, yeah, like, even if Winning Numbers deploys, like, 2 or 3 champions, which I don't think he has the Nora for, he's probably just lost. So, I'll just end this here. And, yeah, that was a pretty interesting game on the part of Elf4ntGun, managing to deal with that Corona after the initial setback. So thank you to everyone for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.